Hello and welcome back to the podcast. If you're watching this on Friday, happy late Thanksgiving. Hopefully you are still full and thankful from the day before. I know we are. And we probably just got back from watching the Lions win.
Oh, wait, I think that our future selves are so happy after watching the Lions win on Thanksgiving. What could you be more thankful for than a Lions win?
Right. And after last week, it's no surprise that we are manifesting that they won again. And it will be no surprise to us this week. And it's no surprise next week and the week after that and the Super Bowl. But let's get into some other stuff going on. And starting with some NFL news, Jason Kelce is set to host a new late night show on ESPN. You can take this one away because you know more about this than I.
Oh, I'm so excited. So, not just because it's Jason Kelce, but because of everything that's going into the show. It just feels like it's really well done, and I hope they continue with it. Because right now, Jason is set to have a new late night show on ESPN called, they call it Late Night with Jason Kelce, which is a callback to the NFL's first full-length film, which was, they call it Pro Football, released in 1967.
I had no idea that that was a thing.
It was a thing, and apparently it will be taped in a crowd in Philly.
You know what's crazy? I was just thinking about this recently. Do they still do live show tapings?
I think of some shows, but honestly, I am not positive if...
Because I remember I recently, when the new Wizards came out, I put it on and I was watching the first episode and I was like, these feel like pre-recorded laughs.
Oh, they for sure were.
And I was like,
laughs.
I wonder if Disney still does it, because we, back in our day, that was like a huge thing when to go to a taping of a show.
I know, that was like the goal in life, was to get to a taping and show.
Which, by the way, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but if you're ever at a taping of a show, they do click the button and tell you when to laugh.
As they do, and it's not as genuine as you would like to think it is, but they gotta do what they gotta do.
Yeah. So I wonder if this is actually like a new, not a new thing, but
Something
is this
that's
starting to
coming
come back?
Yeah, because I don't know if late night shows currently have live audience. I feel like they used to. Hard to say.
I feel like Jimmy Fallon does still, because I've seen clips of his thing on TikTok where if somebody says something,
It pans to the crowd.
It doesn't pan to them, but you'll hear them like, ah!
And it's different than like a pre-recorded
Laugh.
clap here.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense. So, going to be a live crowd, and it's going to be in Philadelphia, which apparently is to pay homage to the NFL film's origin story, which started in Philadelphia.
Interesting.
So, very full circle for them. It's going to be a limited time run with 5 episodes over the course of 5 weeks. And the first 4 episodes will air at 1 a.m. starting on January 4th. I know, it's like a true late night show.
I mean, that's not even
1
late
a.m.
night.
ET.
That's the next day. That's early morning.
Yeah. So we'll see the clips of it on TikTok most likely, but I'd like to say I'd tune in, but maybe I'll record it and watch it back when I'm awake the next day.
You'll let me know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I will look for clips. But another thing that I just saw, another Kelce is getting a show, because Kylie Kelce has announced that she's doing a podcast show called Not Gonna Lie with Kylie. It's going to be on Wave Sports Plus Entertainment, which I believe is what New Heights is on as well.
That would make sense.
But she's going to be talking about motherhood and other hot topics starting Thursday, December 5th. And Duncan actually signed as their exclusive launch partner.
Did they really?
Yeah, which I feel like is so cool.
Her.
Hopefully she gets like a Kylie Kelce drink or something.
I would run to I don't run anywhere, but I would run to Target to try that if they gave her one. It seems
Target.
To Duncan, bro.
No. Let's be honest, because that's where your head is
at Target.
Yes.
I mean, maybe it is currently like we are leading up to Black Friday.
True.
When this is out, this will be Black Friday. So shopping has
begun.
Been on my mind.
Which also, we did put some recommendations and some Black Friday deals in our last Patreon bonus content. So if you want to see that and you're trying to do some shopping, go check that out.
We had good ideas.
We did. I felt good about it.
I do as well.
But yeah, so her new podcast is coming out, and she actually announced it literally a few days after they announced that they're having their fourth little girl.
Oh, they truly have so much going on right now, and I'm so happy for them because they just seem like such a lovely family. So I feel like this is going to be a really, really good podcast because people beg in the New Heights in any of their comment sections.
For her to come on?
Yes, they're like, bring Kylie on. So
she basically
deal.
said in some press leading up to this, she was like, everyone's talking about my family anyways, so like I might as well come on and like hear it straight from me.
Absolutely.
Instead of everyone else. So I think it's going to be good. And also, speaking of baby announcements, that was not the only one that occurred this past week, which I feel like, and I don't know if it's just because I'm pregnant, but I swear since I found out, I feel like I just, one a week, I'm like finding out somebody's pregnant.
Oh,
like,
100%. Something's in the water.
Yeah, something is in the water. Be careful.
I'm drinking Coke Zero right now. I'm not drinking the water.
Well, Kristen Doty just announced from Vanderpump Rules, which it's been a while since we talked about all the drama with Vanderpump Rules, which it was Scandival. That was really the last thing we talked about.
I know. It's been kind of quiet since then.
Well, Kristen Doty just announced her first baby with her new fiance that she actually got engaged to in the Vanderpump Rules spinoff show. It's like one of 4 spinoff shows that they have.
Is it The Valley?
The Valley.
Okay.
So on the final episode of the last season, she got engaged to her boyfriend, and now they just announced that they're expecting their first baby. Exciting. But it kind of comes in the news that's not so great is Swartz and Sandy's restaurant is closing.
I saw that.
And actually everybody in the cast was kind of being supportive of like not really feeling like it should close. And there was like obviously speculation that Scandival was maybe the reason that it's not doing so
taking
hot.
A toll on it.
But people actually said that Scandival was the time that it was doing the best it had ever done because people wanted to go and like run into them. But somebody that's friends with the two in the comments were alluding to other factors of like why it closed and not really.
What were the factors?
So they were saying that basically the show never showcased the restaurant as much as they said they were going to. Yeah. So it didn't get like the publicity it was supposed to. Apparently, Swartz and Sandy are not allowed to, I'm saying it like we're friends with them, are not allowed to run the Instagram for the restaurant.
Oh, then they have to have a third party or somebody.
My guess is that some kind of deal with Bravo was probably made when they were opening the restaurant, that since it was going to be filmed, they would have like part ownership, and they probably don't own like the IP for the brand maybe. So that could be it. They apparently allegedly do not have access to the Instagram, so they're not able to like promote it as much as they would like to.
I see.
And then there was another comment about apparently there's like a big it's in like a strip mall situation. Okay. There's lots of other businesses around, and they have tried multiple times to purchase like a sign in the billboard out there that is listing all that it's there. Yeah, and apparently every time they've tried to purchase it, it gets turned down.
That's so bizarre. You would think that they'd want to be pushing this, right? I don't know. This is very surprising to me that anyone from Vanderpump's businesses is closing down.
Yeah. So everybody in the comments was seemingly like supporting them and kind of defending them. But also at the same time, everybody from the previous cast was posting their own posts because Vanderpump Rules announced that they're rebooting with a completely new cast.
There was rumblings all across the office today at work about this specific thing. So I guess, this just started happening today?
Yeah.
As we're recording? That's wild. I can't believe that. I feel like that's very surprising.
I kind of get it because they kind of like grew up with this cast, so it's going to be kind of trying to recreate that. I don't know if they'll ever be able to recreate something as big as it was with how unfiltered and like wild the original cast was when they started. But I think they're kind of trying to create, these OG members have became like so huge. They all have their own stuff going on. And so now they're trying to basically recreate that with a whole new group.
Yeah.
And who knows if it'll work out. Like obviously they're going to get a lot of the original watchers to tune in to kind of do the comparisons. And I'm sure at first it probably won't be that exciting, but as you get to know these like characters, then see how it goes. But yeah, all the original cast is posting like
goodbye to the show. That's sad. End
yeah.
of a new chapter, but I'm sure some of them are relieved to do something different.
Yeah, a lot of them are on other stuff, like Kristen Doty's on The Valley. Like, a lot of them kind of went on to some spinoffs or, like, doing their own thing. Like, Ariana did the Dancing with the Stars and everything. She's on Broadway now.
Yes, and then she hosted Love Island, which she did so good at that.
Yeah,
because I'd never really watched Vanderpump too much, like, here and there. Clips followed some of the drama, but never sat down and watched it from start to end. And she was phenomenal as host of Love Island.
Before we get back to the episode, let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Rocket Money. Most Americans think they spend about $62 per month on subscriptions, but the real number is closer to $300. That's a big difference. Even if just a couple of subscriptions fall off your radar, those reoccurring payments you don't even know about can really add up. That's why I love Rocket Money. After planning my wedding, I totally forgot I was subscribed to a wedding website that cost me monthly to host my wedding website on there. Thanks to Rocket Money, I'm no longer losing money because of subscriptions I forgot about, because you can see all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For any you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with just a few taps. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/shady. That's rocketmoney.com/shady. rocketmoney.com/shady. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's episode. Speaking of Bravo shows, is there going to be a Detroit Real Housewives?
And are you going to be on it?
So I saw one clip of somebody in the audience at a Bravo thing asking Andy Cohen if they were ever going to make a Detroit Housewives.
And he really didn't give a straight answer from what I saw. I tried digging into it, and I know that he basically responded with how much he loved Tina Turner, or not Tina Turner, oh my gosh, Diana Ross. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking of icons in general, but he was like, she was my favorite. But that's like all he said about Detroit. Why doesn't he want to bring us in Real Housewives?
I mean, I don't necessarily think he has that much say in like what shows get created. Does he?
I didn't think so either. Maybe he's just like the voice. Like
so people like go to him.
Yes. And say,
he probably gets pitched ideas so many times.
Oh, I'm sure every single city he's been pitched on why they need a Real Housewives. But I mean, it's out there now. And Bravo, I'm pretty sure, are the ones that posted it to TikTok. So
they were probably trying to get a feel for like what
people wanted Detroit. And then I saw all the comments were, honestly, I recognized some of the people that were commenting, and they're like, it wouldn't be Detroit. Like, they would so go to like a Birmingham or like the Real Housewives of like Grosse Pointe or something else. Yeah. But
I mean, yeah, that'd be funny. I personally would not. I feel like Real Housewives specifically is always so much drama, like, which they created. That's the point of the shows. Like, everybody's fighting and stuff.
Right. They sit down for dinner. Chaos
like,
ensues.
Couldn't be me.
No. I could not pick you ever.
Oh my gosh, no.
Being on a show like that necessarily. I just don't think you have it in you to have that kind of drama in your life.
No, I'd be so over it. But I do love, like, I loved watching those from time again because I'm like, this is so dramatic and, like, unrealistic. But at the same time, like, those people really get in fights and, like, actually don't 100%. Like each other in real life. And I'm like, that's too much. It's kind of like reminds me of what's going on with Mom Talk right now.
Mom Talk's going nuts, and I don't know. I feel like they're the same thing with Vanderpump. We had not heard about them since, season 1 of their show ended, and now season 2, I think they're in the process of filming that, and chaos has ensued on TikTok.
And it makes you wonder, like, are they trying to get the press back involved before season 2 comes out? Be that.
And I know one of them commented back to in the comment section, I forget which Mom Talk girl it was, saying we can't even talk about our storylines. Like, this is real. This is not a part of the filming. But just because it's not a part of filming, just because this isn't a storyline yet, doesn't mean it doesn't have to do with them getting the drama going and trying to get people enticed to watch season 2.
Yeah, well, Taylor Frankie Paul was like the OG, and she really stirred the pot this past weekend because, you know, her whole thing when Mom Talk all started and when it really blew up was because they were Mormons and they were swinging.
Yeah.
And, well, soft swinging, as they were calling it. And she was the one who, like, dropped that bombshell on everybody, admitting that.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, you know, a couple of the girls after season 1 came out, a couple of the girls that were involved in the swinging didn't want to go on the show, denied ever being involved, and were kind of trying to, like, lay low.
Yeah.
Apparently now one of the girls who was involved recently made a TikTok sharing her side of the story.
Oh, she sure did.
And so in response to that, Taylor Frankie Paul released text messages and videos of them together to debunk her story, her side of the story. And people are going absolutely wild, including her, I want to say
her ex.
Yeah.
Dakota.
Well, I think they were together. I don't know what they are.
Maybe
together,
they're
not
still together,
but
he's like, I got receipts.
Yeah, so he got upset because I think a big part of it too was they talked about this in a show, but he would get a little bit like jealous. Yep. And I'm sure like if that's your woman and you're seeing this, like you're like, I don't want to see these videos in text on the internet. But so he got involved and like the other girls got involved. There was also drama between her and the other girls this past week because the other actual ones that were in the show, because they apparently did not support her. She went in the CMAs and presented an award.
Right.
And apparently none of them were supporting her, commenting or saying anything. So she felt like, you know, they weren't showing her public support, but she publicly supports them. That started a whole drama.
It did. And I think one of the guys, it might have been Jesse, commented back saying, oh, I did this for you. I've been texting you all day. I've reposted something of you. I did this, that, like this whole list of things. She's like, but right now I'm on vacation and trying to not be on my phone and be with my family. And I didn't comment on one picture and now you're upset. So I was like, what's going on?
I think about this all the time, and it's like tough, obviously, if you are doing social media as a living, but prioritizing that so much so that it's like over what's going on in your real life. Like if people are really supporting you in your real life, but not online, like I think sometimes it's hard to like distinguish when you're so in it, and especially in reality TV, and like all these girls are kind of blowing up and getting so big, so they're so invested in like the social media aspect of their relationships, like
totally
what they look like to everybody else.
Yes, the perception of it all.
Yeah, so I could see like how like she would get upset about it, but then also it's like
if she's texting you, congratulations, I'm so excited for you. What does it really matter at the end of the day if it's not for the world to see?
But it kind of is like too, it's kind of funny because it's like you always hear the relationships that are like the worst are the ones who are like constantly posting the most.
Oh, yes,
and like longest captions.
Yes, and like this is my soulmate, and we may go through ups and downs, but yada 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 are always the most unstable relationships because they feel like they need to show it off for the world.
And it kind of feels like this could be one of those situations. Like it doesn't necessarily mean the girls who are like posting the most together are the best of friends in real life.
Just because someone posts a bunch of shit doesn't make them your best friend and like the person that cares about you the most by any means. Yeah. Maybe that's my personal opinion, but
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Well, other TikTok news, wow, words. Kyle and Darnell, which I don't know if you guys remember this. This was freaking it was season 2. But it was like
the second
round. But did we even talk about it? It was like, it was Bama Rush, but it was also just Rush Talk or whatever in general. Because she goes to, I think like Texas something, but.
No, she goes to Alabama.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I don't know. See, you guys, we barely know anymore. It's hard to keep up. But the Rush Talk.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. And the Rush Talk we didn't really totally follow up with. I feel like second season of the podcast because there wasn't that much going on.
It's kind of dwindled. I mean, there's still a ton of videos, but I feel like there's less main characters, if you will,
Yes.
and less involved. Like, people still definitely blow up, go viral, whatever you want to call it, from Rush Talk.
Words,
I don't know.
It's difficult.
It's a holiday week, everyone. Give us a break.
Literally. It's been tough. But so Kylan Darnell, she was from basically season 2 of Rush Talk that we had talked about. And she went viral for the saying, hope you're having a good day, or what is it? Hope you're having a great day, not just a good day.
Yep.
And
that's
she
the
would
one.
start all of her outfit of the day videos with the saying, and then it kind of took off and blew up from there. And everybody's been invested in her pretty much whole life since that moment to now, and just what she's doing in college and following all of that. Kind of like a mini Alex Earl.
Yeah. I would say so.
Her college life. And one of the things that she had been posting about was that she has a boyfriend, but she's not sharing him yet because, you know, she wants to make sure it's serious and all the things. And so as she's starting to like unveil and prepare to show who she's dating, a girl comes on TikTok and starts telling a story. She doesn't call out Kylan by name, but she says, you know, it's not just a bad day, it's a terrible day.
Yep.
So everybody knew who she was talking about, and she's saying how this famous TikToker, her boyfriend cheated on her with this famous TikToker, and so everyone put it together immediately. And, you know, now it's all coming out that supposedly this girl really was just trying to blow up on social media.
Yep. There's receipts.
Yeah, there's receipts that like she was never actually fully dating this guy. And I'm just saying, again, this is like such a terrible thing. I feel like, again, like it's just prioritizing social media over real life. Like that is a girl who actually was perhaps in love with the boy.
Yes,
you don't
they
know.
had been together for, I mean, not like all of this time, but she was saying since like 2020, they've been off and on, like talking, hanging out here or there, and now he was officially her boyfriend from this summer on, and this other girl just decides, oh no.
Yeah, to tell this
Let's throw a wrench in it. Let's do a little story time.
Yeah, and it was also kind of weird too because like her story was basically like the whole time she was talking to this guy or dating this guy, he would leave her for her and then come back to her, and she would take him back, and she was the one who really knew about the other girl.
Yeah, she was
the
like,
whole time.
I knew that Kylan existed, and I didn't really. I don't think she said I don't really care, but
Something along the
internally
line.
she was like, I'm still talking to my boyfriend because he said he's gonna. Well, I think this girl claimed that her and this guy were together, and then they weren't really together. And when they weren't really together, she knew that he was talking to Kylan, but it wasn't that serious. So she was still talking to the guy. But she said that if he ever told me that that was his girlfriend, then I would stop talking to him. But until that point, I'm still going to keep talking to him. And
Yeah,
it was just messy. And what is the truth in all of that? Who's to say?
and again, it's like that's real life. If you know who the other person is and like you genuinely cared and like were hurt by the situation, and you want to help the other person, you don't go to social media.
You don't go. And she was like, "Oh, I just wanted to make the guy look bad," and like, no.
But that's like the state of social media right now. I swear, it's like the more outrageous and like mad you can make people, the bigger you get, and like that's what people's goals are now.
Bait.
It's like the rage bait. But
I hate it.
to be honest, I don't even think this girl saw that coming. I think she genuinely thought like people were gonna believe her side.
Yeah,
but
people poked holes in her story real quick. It's not looking good. It doesn't sound good.
It's not looking good.
Tough time to be the holidays.
It is. Let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Uncommon Goods. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. We've started our holiday shopping and know just how overwhelming it can be when trying to find the perfect gift for all the special people in our lives. But thankfully, there's one place that has incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. That's why I love Uncommon Goods. Shopping there makes finding unique, high-quality gifts easy so you can check off your list and get back to enjoying the holidays. If you're looking for original handmade gifts for the people in your life, Uncommon Goods has so many options. Like a super fun golf dartboard for the man in your life. I know my husband would love to combine golf and darts, so it's a perfect gift for that. Or something more sentimental, like a custom ornament with sand from your favorite beach inside. And there are so many more cool, fun finds for in-laws, kids, friends, and your whole family at Uncommon Goods that aren't the same old selections you'll see just anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/shady. That's uncommongoods.com/shady for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. Thank you to Uncommon Goods for sponsoring today's episode. On the topic, though, of people finding out tea from the internet first, Madeline Klein from Outer Banks has unfollowed her former castmate Rudy and his girlfriend Elaine on Instagram. And
Drama.
this was drama. Okay, well, first I will say, did we talk about the last season of Outer Banks on here?
We have not. And I know actually, I know quite literally nothing of Outer Banks. It was on the TV here last week while we were prepping for the episode. And I was like, what is this?
I am so over that show.
I have seen like TikToks of like the Outer Banks. It's paradise on earth.
No, I loved
they
it.
were all just vibing.
No, I loved it. Season 1, even season 2, I'll say, like, I was still invested. By season 3, absolutely not. It was to the point, and I feel like I did say this on the podcast at some point. It was to the point where someone was running. I said the specific thing. The script was so bad and cheesy. It'd be like someone was running away from someone with a gun, and they'd be like, I don't know if you could say that. Bleep out
the G word.
Someone would
The
be
pew
running
pew?
away from someone with the pew pew, and they would literally be like, hey, get back here. And it's like,
Shut
you
up.
couldn't have thought of anything else to write.
I didn't realize that they were just like a group of friends living on a boat.
No, they're not. They
were in a boat when I saw them.
I saw somebody compare this. They're the modern day Scooby-Doo.
And I didn't know they were out here solving crimes.
Oh yeah, no, not solving crimes. They're solving treasure hunts. They're finding treasure. But it's a bunch of young kids. They're all in a big group in relationships and
They
stuff.
don't go to high school?
They always outsmart the adults somehow and get away. And at the last second, they always escape and find the treasure and do whatever they're supposed to do. And it's like, really? It's the modern day Scooby-Doo. I don't even remember what TikTok I saw.
Do they go to high school? Do they ever show a scene of them in class
No.
having an extremely long period of time
No.
before they have to go to school in the day where they can stop at a coffee shop, go to their friend's house, and then all of a sudden
I think they're out of high school. I don't know. If they're supposed to be in high school, I've never seen them in a school. I couldn't tell you what the school looks like. But they're like teenagers. No, but they're out of school. I don't even know. See, this is the thing.
Like,
They have
in my
lost me so
mind-
hard that I like cannot. When Evan puts it on, because Evan's still fully invested, when he puts it on, I genuinely am like, I can't. Like, I have to walk away.
I was appalled when I saw some of the scenes that were happening. I was like, this is not at all what I depicted in my head as Outer Banks. I thought it was just like Gossip Girl, but like set in the Outer Banks.
No.
Yes, or like I don't know, The Summer I Turned Pretty, but set in the Outer Banks. I thought
No.
it was like the same kind of storylines, you know, boyfriends, girlfriends, teen drama of, you know, the normal dramatized teen drama. That,
No.
but in the Outer Banks rather than anywhere else in the world. But apparently they're finding treasure.
yeah.
I
the
could have
whole point.
I could have you could
It's-
have said for Brittany, for
I don't even mind that.
$1
No.
trillion. What's the goal of the Outer Banks? What are they looking for? And I'd say drama, not treasure.
No. And the thing is, I don't even mind that. From the beginning, it was kind of realistic. But then, like, it got so unrealistic. And, like, what they were looking for was so unrealistic. I just couldn't do it any longer. But all this to say, spoiler alert. Spoiler warning, if you're into it still and you didn't finish.
Fast forward at least 3 minutes, maybe.
3 minutes. So Rudy is one of the characters. His name's JJ in the show.
Mm-hmm.
He got taken off unalived this season, so his character is not going to be back for season 5.
The kid that was running around in that last episode I saw?
Yes. So he's taken off season 5, and there has been so much speculation online that the reason for this is because his current girlfriend in real life doesn't like him filming with a girl that he used to like that is on set, which I believe is I can't even think of her name. But so basically he liked another girl that he films with.
Yeah.
And so the current girlfriend doesn't like him being on set, doesn't like him filming scenes with them, and people online like also shipped them as a couple. Like,
yes, I remember
characters.
seeing this become a viral thing of when the internet ships people too hard that now they don't even like each other, now they hate each other
and they can't film together.
Yes.
So that was becoming a thing, and then a lot of people were actually saying before they knew he got taken off the season, were saying like, if I was a director and actors couldn't be good enough at their job to just do their job, yeah, like then I would take them off. And they literally, he's off for the next season. Now they're saying that that was always the plan. They were always taking him off, but people don't believe it, and they think it's this new girlfriend or current girlfriend that he has. And so as soon as the show ends and they did their PR, Madeline Klein went and unfollowed him and the girlfriend. And then she posted a picture of the meme of the little girl standing in front of the burning house,
she knew
smiling
what she was doing
on her story. So she basically was saying like, I know I'm about to cause drama with this. She quickly deleted it, but everybody saw it.
I wish she would have kept it up.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So now people are saying like, okay, she kind of confirmed to us, like she's seen what everyone's been saying and it's true. Like
yes.
That's really why
100%.
that happened. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the next season of the show. And hopefully the writing
gets better.
Is a little bit better, more realistic.
Tough.
Because I know I want to like it so bad, but I just get lost. I'm like, when they say one thing, I'm like, is that real? Like, did they really say that? So I guess we will see. But more things that people are watching and supposedly they're loving. Wicked.
I know, and we don't know yet because we have yet to see it.
I know.
That's a priority of mine this week. I'm going to see it. I don't know when. I don't know how. But I will be there because
you will be holding space for the lyrics of
want
Defying Gravity.
Hold space for those lyrics.
That will be the meme of the century. For those of you listening, we just held fingers.
If you know, you know.
I actually couldn't believe it when I saw the video, but also I feel like one of the comments was like, these people have been sleep deprived for days. And I'm like,
100%.
Maybe that's what it is. Because it felt like when you don't know how to respond to something, and like the interviewer said it, and then she was just like,
I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, like it felt like you just don't know how to respond. So you just say something, like make up words for an essay. That was that response. I hope so. Because I can't buy that it was genuine.
But here's the thing. Here's what happened to me. So I watched that clip, and I like to think like Ariana Grande, Cynthia, like they're like very intelligent women, which they are. And so when I was watching that interview clip, because the clip came up first, I didn't click the comments, and I always click the comments. And I watched that interaction, and I go, wow, it must be so profound that I don't understand what this means. Like, I was just like, it's just above me. But I guess this was just a beautiful moment because I'm seeing, like, there's all these likes, there's all these comments. I scroll some more. Going. I see it again, and then I click the comments, and I realize nobody understands what was being said, and I go, oh.
No, and honestly, like, I've seen so many people making fun of this on TikTok. Like, I saw somebody put their whole work calendar blocked off for the week, and it said, like, holding space for the lyrics. And I love it. I love when stuff like this happens, and I feel like it brings everyone together.
It really does. It's very it's a very feel good moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't get that all the time.
That's what we'll be trying to do when we go see the movie. But yeah, so it's getting really good reviews. I cannot speak to it, but what does this mean? Is Gladiator 2 and Wicked the new Barbenheimer?
I saw that headline somewhere, and because Gladiator 2 came out the same weekend as Wicked, apparently did very well, and there's been TikToks of people running from one costume to the other to watch both. So it could be the new Barbenheimer.
Okay.
We may see more of this as we go on, you know, two films coming together, bringing our worlds united.
Okay. Well, it was the biggest opening weekend for a film based on a Broadway adaptation, which I believe. And then it is the third best debut of 2024, ahead of Beetlejuice, which is kind of shocking to me.
I know. But not shocking because, I mean, I feel like Wicked's such a big deal that I'm not surprised they had a giant first weekend. I'm just curious what's going to happen when part 2 comes out. Is that's got to blow all of us out of the water and just be even bigger, even better by that point.
The one thing I will say is I didn't realize that part 1 was 2 hours and 46 minutes.
It's long.
And then, so that means that part 2 is probably also going to be very long.
Oh, I'm sure.
And something that I personally can't commit to at this time is holding space for not going to the bathroom for that long.
No, it's a really tough thing to do because, like, with the Eras Tour movie, which was, you know, pretty lengthy because it was a pretty lengthy show in itself, at least you could go into that knowing, here's when to take my bathroom break. But the good news is, since you didn't see on opening weekend, I bet somewhere you could Google when is the best time to take a bathroom.
I did see a TikTok and they said, hold it.
Oh, there's no time for a bathroom?
Yeah.
That's really
that's tough for me. That's
hear.
Actually not doable for me in the state that I'm in. Currently, I have to go multiple times in 1 hour. I also fear that when I go, I'm going to have to get an end seat near the entrance or exit so that I can go to the bathroom without disturbing everybody.
Right.
But they didn't think about pregnant people when they made this movie because
3
hours is a long time.
You're going to need to, I don't know. There's actually
no solution. I know it's going to be tough for me, but I'm going to do it because I really want to see what everyone's talking about. And speaking of some press, you guys, this was actually ridiculous. Last week when we filmed, we were talking about the Coachella lineup, the predictions, everything like that. As soon as we were done filming, the actual lineup got released. But I will say we can't be too mad because we were right.
We were 100% correct, which, I mean,
there was headlines like suggesting that might happen.
But, like, regardless,
we were right. And obviously, we're journalists.
That's what we do. We find the facts. We provide the facts.
And so that was a time where we were right. Lady Gaga, Green Day, Post Malone, Travis Scott.
They're all going to be there. They're all going to hold hands.
And they'll all be holding space for Coachella. So that concludes this week's episode. We're going to get into some shady stories. Also, over in the Patreon bonus content this week, we're going to be talking about some CMA's drama and also going over some fashion from the CMA's red carpet. So if you want to see that, make sure you join us on the Patreon. But for now, let's get into some shady stories, starting with shady story number 1. I've known this guy Noah for ages. We are both a part of the same friend group, so when he asked me on a date, I wasn't surprised. However, when he came to my house to pick me up for our first date and hit my cat Rosie with his truck, I was flabbergasted. He was lucky I didn't witness that since I was still getting ready upstairs, or I would have murdered him. When I finally came out, I saw my precious baby Rosie covered in blood laying on the driveway unconscious. He didn't do anything about it. He didn't call me, didn't try to take her to the vet or check on her. He just watched her bleed. When I freaked out and rushed to the clinic with her, all he said was, "Hey, sorry, I didn't know it was your cat. So are we going to the restaurant later then?" I have never wanted to punch somebody in the face like that before. Anyways, Rosie healed quickly. The hit was serious but not deadly. 2 months later, she was roaming around the house like her regular self. I don't let her go outside, never did, but she's sneaky like that and sometimes would magically appear on the front porch. I know this is 100% on me. I should have done my job as a cat mom better. But yeah, here's my piece of advice for you. Keep your cat inside and avoid people like Noah like the plague.
I didn't mean to giggle.
The way I would be in jail.
Oh, no.
In jail.
It'd be
absolutely over. I mean, thankfully the cat's okay. Like, but what kind of sociopathic, psychopathic person hits an animal
and isn't phased?
Just, my bad. Well, so do you still want to go to dinner later?
Well, I didn't think it was your cat. You still hit a cat, man. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely wild. That is so wild. This person needs to be in jail.
Thank God Rosie healed quickly.
Right. But this guy is on the loose and can't be trusted.
He must be stopped. Yeah, if you know a Noah, better question him this week.
Oh my gosh. 10 out of 10. Shady.
Yeah. No, very shady. I'm so glad Rosie lived to see another day. Shady story number 2. Once upon a time, I was young and naive about hookup culture. A boy I met only once before invited me to watch TV pretty late in the evening, literally 10 p.m. That timing was the first clue that I missed. So when I went over there, I thought he was cute, and we watched several episodes of The Simpsons, barely talking, sitting next to each other in our own rolling desk chairs in his college bedroom. Looking back on it now, I obviously missed all of the hints he was giving that he wanted me to sit on his bed, but I think it must have been the early hours of the morning when I couldn't sit any more awkwardly, so I needed to go and use the toilet. He lived in an old house with a bunch of other guys in various bedrooms, but everyone else was already asleep, and the whole house was dark and eerily quiet. I barely found my way up to the bedroom in the dark when it came time to pee. I was nervous to make any sound and wake someone up, not to mention that this was a dorm bathroom shared by multiple guys, and the dirty toilet seat wasn't something I wanted to sit on. I didn't want to stand on the cold tile floor barefoot since I had courteously taken off my shoes at the entrance. Anyways, I'm pretty short, which means squatting above the toilet so my bum wouldn't touch it was extra uncomfortable. While scooting and testing every few drops so my stream of pee wouldn't resonate like a blaring alarm throughout the quiet house, I don't know why I didn't lay some toilet paper on the seat like a public restroom, but it probably had to do with the problems I realized only after I'd finished peeing. 1, there was no toilet paper. 2, in my nervousness not to make any sounds and not to touch the seat, I hadn't actually peed in the toilet. I peed on the seat, and my whole bladder's worth of pee was now all over the floor. I had no idea I wasn't stepping into my pee because there was a giant puddle on the floor. I looked around like a panic, but there was nothing to clean this up. I was taking too long, and the dude I was down the hall waiting for me. I couldn't see any towels or soap, and maybe there was none that I wanted to use, but I had no idea that this whole house full of dudes washed themselves in the bathroom with zero supplies. So I ended up using a sponge that was in the bathtub because it was the only thing available, and wipe by wipe, I slowly wiped off my pee off the floor and wrung it out repeatedly into the toilet and washed everything with just water. I was a bit wet by the end and cold and petrified as I returned to the bedroom because I had taken so long and scared shitless that he'd figure out the gross thing that I did. In my mind, I was freaking out, so of course I missed the additional signals that he wanted to fool around. So I politely declined sitting on his bed or getting any closer. God forbid I smelled like pee at this point. And we watched another half an episode of The Simpsons, and as I was sitting there stiffly and awkwardly as before. Even though I could tell he didn't like the show, what happened? Then we looked at the clock and I excused myself because it was late and I went home as quickly as I could. Of course, we never spoke again. I don't even remember his name, but 2 decades later, I still feel like an idiot for what happened. I only remember that in his email, it had the word alligator. So if anyone's listening with alligator in their email, they are really sorry. What a story. That was a very long story. It was really kind of a struggle for me to get through all the words, but that's just
tough. That is so tough because have you ever been in a situation where I haven't actually done it, but it's almost happened to me because I feel like sometimes guys specifically will close the top lid of the toilet. Like if there's the lid and then the seat, they'll close the lid. And like, if you don't know that that's happened, your instinct is to either just sit or like I squat over everything. Like I'm serious. Like I am such a squatter. It's crazy. It's going to get tough for me soon probably, but I always squat. So I feel like in this instance, this could have easily happened to me because again, if you don't know the lid's closed, and I always say too, like, if Evan ever has done that, I think he's maybe done it like once or twice. Yeah. I lecture him like, do not ever do this, because I vividly remember one time in the middle of the night, I got up to go to the bathroom, half asleep, whatever. Lid was closed, didn't know, went to go sit, but you know, it's our own toilet. Right, so I was actually going to sit. And I was like, oh, and almost I would have went on top of the lid and it would have went everywhere. Yeah. And again, thankfully you're in your own home, you could change, but like this situation, I would actually probably jump out the window.
I know. When I was reading it the first time, I was like, is she just going to leave? Like, what is she going to do? And I'm honestly surprised there was a sponge in that bathroom, because no towels, no toilet paper, but there was a sponge.
That's the other thing. That is so... You're a trooper for that, because I would honestly, I think in the situation, I either would have jumped out the window and pretend like I was never there and like I don't know who was there, or I would have straight up just went to the guy and been like, listen, I peed on the floor. I thought the seat was open. We need some towels. Where's your toilet paper? You're gonna invite a girl. I would have blamed it. I would have gaslit him. I'd have been like, you are gonna have a girl over. You're gonna close the lid and have no toilet paper. This is on you. Clean it up.
Gaslit, gatekeep, girl boss. I love that. For that, I give this is another like 10 out of 10. This is an amazing story.
Agreed. Shady story number 3. I used to be a very calm and not shady kid at all. However, when I was about 7 years old, I did something out of the ordinary, and this is all because of a cartoon. I live in France, and we have a cartoon that I used to watch a lot called Les Petits Diables.
That was a very good attempt at
tried my best. Mm-hmm. The translation in English would be The Little Devils. It's basically a girl who would make her parents give her younger brother punishments on purpose. As a stupid kid, I thought it would be fun to try and do the same thing to my big sister to see what would happen. So one day, my mom had made me tea, and when we finished, she asked my sister and I to clean the table. My sister took the teapot, and my mom warned her not to spill anything on the floor or she would get a punishment. My little kid brain thought it was a good opportunity to try what I wanted to do. So I waited for my sister in the kitchen, and when she brought the teapot, I told her I would deal with it and took it. I waited for her to leave the kitchen and spilled a bit of tea on the floor. But of course, it didn't go as planned. I was caught red-handed. My sister entered the kitchen at that very moment and understood right away that I was trying to get her punished. But she didn't tell my mom about it. Instead, she blackmailed me. I did not expect that. And let me just be precise that my sister was very young too, because she was only a year and a half older than me. Anyways, she blackmailed me for about a week. She always told me to do some stuff, or she would tell my mom what I did. Nevertheless, one of our older brothers had heard us one day, so he asked my sister what she was talking about. And obviously, she told him the whole story. I was very stressed at this point. He decided to go tell my mom everything. Very predictable too. I wasn't very lucky because this day was my cousin's birthday and I was supposed to go to her party with my sister. As a punishment, my mom told me I couldn't go to the birthday party, and it made me really angry, but I guess I deserved it. So at the end, I wasn't that mad.
This is such an innocent, shady story. And that's
it really is.
Really got me.
It really is. But I feel like every kid does this when they're little.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, the blackmail thing, like, that was kind of smart.
Right. Like at, 8.5, 9 years old?
Yeah. Like, you know what blackmail is? You're using it for, your own good. It's pretty shady.
Yeah. I feel like every pair of siblings goes through that where, like, you're both fighting each other equally. And then you're like, well, she did this first.
Yeah.
And it's like just goes back and forth.
Oh, gosh.
But that's funny that they have a cartoon that's like showing them
I
that.
know. And that's the premise of the show.
Yeah.
But that's for sure where
the idea came from. Yeah. So like it's not your fault. But also I would say this is cute. This is like 5 out of 10.
I say 6 out of 10.
Okay, that concludes this week's episode. Like we said, we hope everyone had a great holiday, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.